Hi, welcome to Lansing Pulse. Today I have Community and Economic Development Director Joshua Gentzler with me
Hello.
to talk about the comp plan. Thanks for being here.
Yes, I'm very excited to be here. I love talking about the comp plan, love talking about planning in general, especially for this city.
Well, that makes sense since you are a planner.
That is true.
So, tell us a little bit about Josh and your background.
Well, I have lived in Leavenworth County since 2008 at this point. And I think I can call myself kind of a native, or at least adopted Kansan at this point. My father's family is from the Hutchinson liberal area. And so we've been here for quite some time. I've been here for quite some time now. And I can say that I am a Jayhawk.
You can.
Rock chalk. And so therefore, I think that I can, going to state school and getting a master's degree from a state school, probably I can say that I'm officially a Kansan now. So
I would say that you do have some strong Kansas credibility with that.
I'd like to think
resume.
So.
Yeah.
I'd like to think so.
So I invited you here to talk about the comp plan, or also just to spell it out, a comprehensive plan.
Yep.
Also is called a strategic plan. So tell us a little bit about what that entails for a city and why we're doing it.
The comp plan is one of those things that is supposed to be the hub of what the city wants to be doing for the next 5, 10, 15, sometimes 20 years, but generally on a 10 to 15 year time horizon. This is where, well, sometimes I say this is where we want to be when we grow up.
Okay.
Right. As a city. But it's a touch point where a plan, a document that is developed when everybody involved in the city, residents, business owners, people who work in the city physically, not city employees as well.
Right.
But people who work here in Lansing all get together and come together and pool our knowledge about what the city is currently, and then where we want to see the city go in a couple of years in terms of parks, in terms of housing types.
Okay.
We want to think long-term, so kind of ask yourself the question, what do we want to leave? What type of legacy do we want to leave for our kids, our grandkids, potentially, of what the city is going to look like?
Okay.
There's a lot of decisions to be made about transportation and housing and businesses of all kinds, just your traditional retail, your industrial,
Right.
your built environment. You get to make a decision about your built environment. So buildings, asphalt, concrete. So whether that's trails or roads or anything like that, those decisions are made not that often.
Right.
Right. You make it kind of one time, and you can redo it.
Right.
But it takes a lot of work to be able to either assemble a bunch of land again to make it redevelopable, or it's just not cost effective to tear down a building and replace it. And so thinking long term about what type of this is a planning term, but the pattern of the city, what it looks like in terms of city blocks.
Right.
Those are important decisions that ultimately should start the process of making those decisions from the comp plan, because we come together, we work together to develop this plan and say, these are our goals. This is the vision for what we want the city to be,
Right.
how the city needs to be built.
And that's why we do it fairly often. Like about maybe every 10 years, we revisit the plan,
Correct.
say, okay, did this go the way we thought it was going to? Have things changed? What do we need to do? How do we need to shift going forward?
Yeah. So the last plan was written in 2013 and adopted in 2013, 2014, adopted in 2014. the world was much different in 2014 than it is today.
It was.
We've gone through some massive changes societally, and then Lansing was just in a different place.
Right.
We were coming off of a couple of years of significant growth that has largely stopped, and so we had some expectations that weren't met for various reasons, a lot of which were outside of our control. And so now we need to come back together and say, okay, so now that we are here, where do we go? Right. And so let's figure out what our parks system needs to be. In the 2014 plan, there was one of the goals was to build an aquatic center. Hey, we've done that.
Yeah.
It's up, it's running.
It's very nice.
Yes. It's a great addition to the city. We're glad to have it. But that's one of those things that, okay, we've checked that box.
Right.
Right. There are discussions about how to, change codes to be able to enable development or prohibit certain types of development in that plan that have been addressed. There's goals and objectives and a vision for even the library as a part of of this plan. And so it's supposed to be a all-encompassing, or at least, again, the hub to be able to start making decisions about specifically where do we spend our money. We have limited resources as the city. Where do we want to utilize our money in the best way possible to spur the most growth in the city? And growth can be defined as many different things.
Right.
So whether that's on a kind of a cultural level with things like the library and the parks,
right,
whether that's business growth or housing growth or
maybe both,
or both, kind of hand in hand. Yeah, it goes together. So.
Right. So, how can residents give input, and why? I guess why should they give input? Although I feel like we've kind of answered the why should they part.
Well, we, as a city, we are not. Everybody looks at the city in a different way, right?
Right.
You have a different perspective on the city than I do.
Correct.
And I have a different perspective than somebody who lives in Ward 1.
Right.
Everybody will give you a different perspective on the city. And we want as many perspectives involved in this plan as possible.
Right.
So you ask how they can do that, or you ask why. That's why. Plans are better when we have more input. Right. The more information we can gather, the more we can come up with goals and objectives that are going to reflect more people and more people's experience with the city. We have 9,500 people in the city.
Okay.
We would love to have 9,500 responses.
Absolutely.
We're not going to get that.
No.
But the folks that do contribute, honestly, you're going to have an outsized effect on this plan. Right. Because we're not going to have all 9,500 people. So that's why. Make your voice known. This is part of the democracy of the city. You vote when elections come around. This is one of those ways of not necessarily voting per se, but being involved and giving input. Right. And you give input by going to lansingks.org/Lansing Tomorrow or lansingks.org/Bright Future. Okay.
Or they can come on Tuesday night to the community center.
Sure.
And give input in person.
Yep.
To the contractor, basically, that we have who's kind of helping us put this together, Confluence. Yep. So that's from 6 to 7:30, right? Yep.
Tuesday, May 12th, 2026. The community center, so the community center, which is beneath City Hall, or the part of City Hall. Confluence will be there. They will be presenting a little bit at the beginning of that 6 to 7:30 session. Right. To lay some groundwork. And then there's going to be activities and ways of engaging with ideas through writing down ideas, sharing your ideas through sticky notes, and then also voting with dots. There's going to be continuums of, well, I'm very proud of my city, or I'm not so proud of my city, right? Or I think that the city provides a lot of good resources and services, or the reverse of that. And you'll be able to put dots on the continuum and that type of thing, and then vote on what types of development you think is valuable for the city to pursue. So that's going to be a very important thing. The information that is given in person at that workshop is also going to be online. So go to that lansingks.org/Lansing tomorrow. Right. And you can get a lot of the information there as well. There's the same questions are going to be asked, so you'll be able to go through and click on which options you think are best, and vote in that way. Right.
Okay. And so on Tuesday, that it'll be more of a hard copy. There'll be exhibits with prompts, and it'll prompt you to think about how you want to answer it, or get you thinking about the future.
Yeah. And in addition to that, in City Hall, it's not going to be the full setup, but we are going to be taking more in physical, being able to vote with stickers, and leaving ideas on a sticky note, both at the library when it opens back up,
right,
and then also in City Hall, the
entryway,
foyer.
The foyer,
yes.
Yeah.
So, there will be a couple of those boards set up to receive input from the community.
Okay, and they will be sitting there for 2-3 weeks. You could, if you're coming in to pay your utility bill or something like that, you could stop at the board and interact with it that way. Right. And then the last opportunity will be at the Independence Day event.
Yep. They will, Confluence will have a booth or a tent set up. And as we are celebrating the 250th with blowing things up, which is great, and lots of good fried foods, you can stop by Confluence and their tent, which will be close by the city's tent, and be able to vote and talk and engage and talk with the planners who are going to be able to help us out.
All right. That sounds great. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining me and explaining that. And we hope to see as many people as possible on Tuesday night, or as many dots and sticky notes as we can see on those exhibits. So thank you for watching Lansing Pulse.